Hey, what's going on, everyone? Before we dive into today's episode, I want to tell you a little bit more about our awesome sponsor, MailShark. MailShark helps home service businesses just like yours acquire and retain more customers, increasing company growth and revenue by executing affordable, customized, and data-driven direct mail marketing campaigns. From data analysis and marketing strategy, through design, printing, and mailing, to transparently tracking your results in their ROI dashboard, they do it all, allowing you to be able to focus on running your business. They also seamlessly integrate into your CRM, just like Service Titan, and we have a lot of clients at Rival Digital that love MailShark. So to learn more about MailShark, head over to their website, www.themailshark.com.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of the TradeMarke. We've got a really exciting episode today. We're chatting with Tim Brown, also known as Tim Hook on Facebook from Hook Agency. Tim's super smart, a really good marketer, good creative, just a wealth of knowledge. We're super excited to chat with him today. But before we get started, we usually do an icebreaker. But with Father's Day being on Sunday, and I know Tim and I are both daddies.
I asked you not to call yourself that. Text message there was like, do not call yourself daddy.
All right, since Tim and I are both dads, I figured I'd read off a few good dad jokes. So, Tim, did you hear about the two rowboats that got into an argument?
No.
It was an ordeal.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, are we going in a round? Sarah, where did the general put his armies?
I don't know.
In his fleavies.
I have no job.
Oh, my goodness.
I'm not that kind of person. I can't come up with it that fast.
That's awesome. All right. Well, let's go ahead and dig in. What's up, Tim?
I'm Eric's understudy on that. I'm working on it.
It was great. It was a great job.
Yeah.
I've got one more for us here.
Go.
Why do turkeys play percussion?
No idea.
They have drumsticks.
Yep. All right, let's get started.
Right. Let's go ahead and dig in, everyone.
Step into the TradeMarke, your go-to podcast for everything marketing in the trades. Hosted by award-winning industry marketing experts Sarah Ghirardo from Remarketable and Eric Thomas from Rival Digital. Together, we're here to unite the worlds of trades and marketing, bringing you insights, stories, and strategies from the heart of the industry. Whether you're a trade professional, a marketing expert, or somewhere in between, this is the place for you. Listen in as we're here for the big ideas, the game changers, and the everyday successes. Because at the TradeMarke, we're with the trades and for the trades.
All right. Let's go ahead and dig in. Sarah, how are you doing?
I am doing great. I just got in, literally, from wherever I was in Dallas. That's where I was.
Wow.
How are you doing? Vacation, Eric Thomas?
I'm doing great. I'm living like a pirate right now, so I can't complain.
How are you doing, Tim?
We're very good. Minnesota is actually incredibly beautiful here during the summer.
Yeah. I have never been to Minnesota.
Only come during the summer.
Right. Like, it just sounds like maybe I won't come. I don't know.
I don't remember why our ancestors decided on this particular place, but
that's
There's
okay.
so many good things in Minnesota. Like Target's from there, right?
yeah, we got Target. Yeah,
That's huge. I mean, that's huge. I know that.
you think about the way the local economy is like Target. Honestly, agencies. When I was growing up in the agency world, there's like 50 agencies that had Target on their
Oh yeah.
as a client. They did something I did a press release one time for them or something.
Yeah.
It was just it's fed a lot of families in the area. It's just like whatever your big corporations are in that area kind of help make the local economy thrive in certain ways. So yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about you, because I've been doing some research.
Sure.
Which I found out that you're a singer, and would really like to hear you sing Smile Fetish, if you could. That would be great.
Yeah, hide that stuff better, I think.
Don't worry, I like to dig. So
Yeah, no, it's a tough one. I've had like a rap group before. I've had like, whatever. Your young 20s, we did some stuff. But yeah, just background, tried to get into music, didn't quite make it. Smile Fetish never became the number one hit that it should have become.
we'll make it a hit now, right?
But after that, it's actually kind of my wife, because she was like, I was sitting there pursuing it hard, music in general, right? And she was like, hey, look, those paintings you got over there look pretty good for real. Like, they're better than your music. And so really, I just took 10 years to like finish a 2-year degree in graphic design and web design. And then I went out of kind of had my own little company in college 10, 11, 12 years ago. And then I went and worked for a different agency for like 3 years. Kind of got cut my teeth with website design and development, and then kind of learned SEO from them, by the way, and did it on the side. They said I could. And so I did on the side, and I actually got a couple bigger clients for them through the side stuff. Like Mall of America was a client, and I got them. And this is when I realized it's time to go on my own, because I got them through my own SEO. I went to the Mall of America and sold it. And then I designed it. I did the information architecture for it, the UX for it. I designed it, and then I developed it. And then at that point, I'm like, what do I need you guys for? Like,
yeah, seriously.
Need time to go around. So, and I remember like getting like the commission on it or something. It was like $1,000, and I was like, don't even give me that. No, it's fine. I'm super grateful to them, but then I just kind of realized it was time to go out on my own, as it sometimes happens. And then, yeah, the last 7, this company's I've been out on my own for 7 years. Quickly hired my wife. Did pretty good that first year. I feel like we thought we were balling a little bit. Like we did like 360 in revenue, and then like 360,000, and then like you like when you're first getting a little bit of money, and you're just like, we got more employees, and like one, it's frowned upon to look like super baller to your employees, but then also, they want more money and all that. So you got the 5 employees, figured out we didn't know culture. We didn't know how to make a culture. Not to mention a couple years after that, then COVID hits. And then, so now we're like 4 years in or whatever. And then or 3 years in or whatever. And then we had just gotten this big new office. So those are like the biggest, like kind of crazy, like that getting the big office right before COVID was like the kind of like one of the hardest things that we went through.
Mm-hmm.
And to 2021, we said only contractors. Well, only contractors. We just literally had a wealth management client in here. I'm giving you like the full disadulation here, but a wealth management client in here is like from way back in the day, and she finally is like wrapping up with us. But we didn't like say get out everyone that we didn't work with, that was in niche. But now we just work with home service businesses and a lot of roofers. So I know that like, we're kind of coming into HVAC and plumbing now, but like we have like 70, 80 roofers right now. So just a lot of that, and 7 HVAC companies, and I think 2 plumbers right now. So like, that's kind of like where we're at as far as like our types of businesses that we're working with. And we've just marketed really hard to HVAC and plumbing now. So I think like, besides annoying the other marketers in the space, I'm also like trying to get around the people that are doing the work by video, like doing videos and getting out with them, and then like doing office tours, which I think is kind of newish to HVAC. Like, not that people didn't do this, but that we're doing videos. So that's kind of our go-to-market. I think like our go-to-market strategy is probably fairly interesting for a new industry. And I think it also like maybe some of it shadows what could be like adding a new market for, home service businesses, but also just like, national marketing. Something national has its own complexities, obviously, to like local marketing. But like a lot of like there's things that might mirror that approach to adding a new market.
Yeah. I've been watching you, and I think it's, first off, I love to read the comments about other marketers when they're like,
Yeah.
it just makes me laugh. So I think in abundance, right? I don't think in scarcity. And so when I don't think of competition. I just don't, because
the one that I know that you're thinking about right now, by the way, that one that you're talking about, it's because when they came over to roofing, it's going to be apparent. we were feisty with them. So that's my fault. I have not always, I'm competitive too. Like everyone does, right? Everyone is competitive. And so like, I have regrets just being a little bit more like, don't come here to that company when they did that. And you can't take that back now. I was a little bit like, you don't know this industry to a particular company. So I also like deserve every piece of resistance I get as I join a new industry. I deserve it, to be honest. But also it also makes me want to enter more humbly to a new market, because and I don't think I do enough. Like, I need to be more humble and all that. But like, when you enter a new market, enter humbly is the lesson I'm trying to learn, which is like, don't come. What do they? Sorry, I'll go biblical for a second.
There we go.
If you take the head of the table, then you don't deserve it. You know, like if you go into a party and you sit at the head of the table and you're like, serve me first, then you don't deserve it. If you sit in a humble spot, then maybe you'll be asked to sit at some point, like in a more prominent position. And I think that's what I'm trying to learn, because I think I don't know jack shit about HVAC and plumbing. I do know a lot about marketing.
Yeah.
I'm trying to stay humble to learn. And I think when you're humble, when you go in with a beginner's mind to things, it is crazy how much more you can learn, because you ask questions a lot.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's why.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think.
And not only that, it's not about like going into new spaces. It's about how you can bring others out more. And that's how you build a community, and that's how you build your name, right? It's like, how do you showcase others while you're learning yourself from these people?
Yeah.
So that would be my word of advice of like, and you're doing it, right? You're giving them videos, you're promoting them on blogs and creating influencer lists that, you don't know.
I remember, Tim, I remember you messaged me on Facebook like over a year ago, and you were like, hey, we're thinking about doing HVAC. And you even asked me, like, is that a problem? And I was like, I don't care. There's plenty of work to go around for everyone. So
yeah,
I was like, I don't care. And then you put me on your list on your website. So I appreciate that. I got a nice backlink from it.
Yeah. And I mean, like, if you look at, like, let's say you took like the top 10 marketing agencies in HVAC or something, you're like, I mean, like, including the ones with the largest market share, like, Service Titans, Partner, Scorpion, you've got the Rhinos of the world, you've got the fucking best. Sorry, am I going to be bleeped? It's okay if I'm bleeped.
No, you're good.
The best SEO website companies in the world, including Rival Digital and including like Relentless and including like the awesome guys in Canada. What is their name again?
On Purpose.
Purpose.
On Purpose.
And you went through all these. What percentage would that whole group have?
Exactly.
The entire HVAC.
I've done the math on this. It's less than 5%.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I come from a large company, and those vendors have, like, they don't have enough experience for that revenue size that I come from. And so, like, they are great, right, for different revenue sizes. And I think that's what people don't understand when it comes to vendors. It's like, you really have to evaluate based off of the strategic growth, where you are right now, and then where you will be. And then you're constantly evolving with an SEO vendor. And it's like the ones you didn't even mention the one that I used. And then there's multiple out there that just deal with multi-million dollars.
So you kind of note that like we have this tiny section and we're all like, sure, maybe we want more of the top 20% of like, it is hard to, I think we should like tweak this a little bit to focus on the home service business owners that are watching this right now. Like it is hard to pay your way out of that first couple million in revenue, but like what is it? 80% of small businesses are under $1 million. It's kind of like using in that way too, because we're probably all trying to work with the like million plus companies. It's really hard to be a marketing agency and to try to serve those really small ones and to do a great job because of to have that budget. You know what I mean? Like to spend $1,000 a month or something and hope you're going to like really grow your business. I always just encourage home service business owners in that position, and they can be mad at me, but that's fine. I'm used to people being mad at me. It's like sweat equity. We have to build it up. I didn't get any vendors. I didn't get a lot of vendors before I got to 1 million and 2 million. Like, I had to do a lot by myself. Like, the toughest part, no one wants to hear that. So we don't say it all the time on these podcasts because no one wants to hear that. And it sounds like we're being dicks.
Right.
Like, so, but it's really hard to spend your way out of that initial uncomfortable spot of, doing the work and selling the work and marketing the work. And there's all these things going on. It's really tough.
Well, I think it's fear-based too, because, it's like everyone wants to say, oh, well, I don't need marketing. I have word of mouth, or I don't need marketing. I have this. And until they get to like this one, like whatever they feel is sweet. And I'm like, if you had a marketer in the beginning and you would have invested that before sales, we would have brought you more sales and hired more salespeople to make that happen for you. So, and I was listening to that in the book today, Eric, that one that you recommended.
They asked you to answer?
Yeah.
So good.
It's so good. But I was like, all businesses do that, right? They hire the sales team before they hire the marketing team. And then they're like, well, marketing isn't a revenue generated part of the business. And I'm like, dude, we're generating all your but if it were me, I encourage small businesses to hire a marketer first to understand like who's going to manage that side of the business and bring in the revenue and bring in the people, and then get the website established and make sure everything is set up properly.
Yeah. We'll hire a real marketer too.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like. So many companies, when they say they're hiring a marketer, like they're just like, oh, this is just some silly little social media position. And then they go like, they bring in like their niece or, someone that like if you're going to hire a marketer, like at least make it worth everyone's while, I think. Also, I'm sorry to backtrack, Tim. I was blushing when you said we were the best. You just can't tell because I'm so sunburned. But thank you.
I didn't know if you were like blushing or if it was like just a raccoon.
Really burnt.
The best I can see, coming in and seeing all the ones in the space already. I mean, I do think the thing, we talk about how sales gets the clout at the beginning of a business. I think also like performance marketing gets the clout. Like we talk about PPC, paid ads. Like there's a lot of great agencies in HVAC. And what do you guys say, dude? Comment below HVAC or HVAC because I am still at a loss and it's still back and forth. What do you guys say when you say?
I just say HVAC.
I say HVAC.
I've been studying, I've been trying a year of trying to be a beginner in this, and I still can't figure out what most people say. So
it's HVAC.
Yeah. So
if you're from the South, you say heat and air.
Peyton and I.
Yeah,
Peyton there.
more clear. I think that's more clear, actually.
Peyton there.
But definitely one that's tough is mechanical, because I don't feel like mechanical says a lot.
No, I don't even know what that means. It's like, and it's associated to keywords of like engineering and auto. And so now you've got a negative keyword list that just doesn't even make sense. Like you're already like, yeah, mechanical.
I was in an elevator with a client and I asked them, like, I know that's part of your name, but what does it mean? I felt like an idiot. But the other thing, we talk about performance marketing, right? Paid. There's a lot of built out agencies, a lot of very big companies that are just paid, like everything's paid. Like, obviously, I think, the kick charges of the world obviously have pushed this idea of branding. And I think that's really, that's the start of it. But then like organic marketing feels a little like, I said, Eric, you guys are one of the best because I look at the back of your websites sometimes, on Ahrefs or, an SEO tool, ahrefs.com. And you can see the graphs going up. And there's a lot of agencies where you don't see that. So you're just like, it's just paid because they're not touching the organic graph is not going up, and we can see that. So I would say if there's a weakness, like looking at the agency world and like choosing an agency, you got to choose somebody that really knows that organic stuff, because otherwise you're just like paid is very built out. So many, because we have, honestly, you guys are thinking about HVAC and plumbing. There is a lot of very sophisticated, amazing companies that have big budgets. And so it covers up the fact that sometimes organic isn't growing. The organic traffic isn't growing. The organic leads are not growing. And so it starts with brand, but then it goes to organic, I think, and content. And they ask you answer and really truly answering the questions that people have. And then I think ideally it would layer on paid, because you got the brand messaging is good. I'm sure Sarah like helps people like tighten that stuff up. You've got the organic, which is like, we need to be answering the questions that people really have, and like content marketing, and they ask you, and then paid is really like to amplify all that. And like that's the way I look at it as far as like marketing, but also paid covers up for lack of results in certain ways. And it's not even really that there's nothing wrong with not having great organic traffic. It's one way to make money. And I think paid is, people really like it. Science brain. And I think business brain, like spreadsheet guy, loves paid. That's okay. That's fine. It's just sometimes you don't know that you might be overpaying for something because you're really not answering the customer's questions. You're just shoving leads through, and you look at that cost per lead and it's going up, and you're kind of wondering why it keeps going up. Maybe it's like, do we need to answer a few more of their questions in the sales process? And I think I keep saying it, but just because you're reading that book right now, They Ask You Answer is such a good example of like, could we answer a few more of these objections that they have, that sometimes they actually didn't become a lead yet because they had a couple more objections to get into, like, to finally call.
Yeah. And I think you have a great point. Like, there are very thin layers of content out there, and it's only going to drive your cost per lead or cost per acquisition up.
Sorry.
Oh, I thought it's only going to drive your cost per, I know we're all looking at our phones. We're like, whoa. Cost per acquisition up and paid, because you're not, like, you're searching for a lead instead of providing valuable, helpful content that they have questions to. And with ChatGPT, it's so easy to get those questions answered, right?
Yeah.
Well, also, like, when you think about paid over time, like how many times you've paid when someone has searched cost of, ductless AC installation cost. how many times has that been searched, and how many times have you been targeting that keyword, and how many times has it been clicked on? At that point, you could have invested in someone to have written a nice, lengthy, detailed article about why it costs as much as it does, the different models, how much different models cost, what to look for in a contractor, what not to look for in a contractor. And then that could have been producing organic traffic for that, instead of having to pay for each time. But I also do, earlier you mentioned, Tim, about how, like, before they hit 1 million, like, sweat equity, but they still got to be like, obviously everyone needs to be marketing still. I would love to, like, continue digging in on that a little bit on like what some things are that those folks under 1 million could do, even like DIY or with the assistance of, a part-time marketing coordinator or assistant.
Oh, absolutely. I think it's, like you said, sometimes it's an intern doing the video stuff and we get a little flippant with what you're like, you got social media, right? You know what I mean? Like, we're just kind of like, check, done. But like I say scale your best closer. Like, can you let them go hang out with the person who sells the most for a couple days and like make content with them? Because otherwise it's just like the trends thing on TikTok is such a distraction. Like I'm seeing all these companies do the like, the quick intro where it's like somebody's flipping off. I mean, literally we did it. I mean, somebody at our team did it, flipping off the thing and then, hey, by the way, but like then that's your only content going out. Like we're getting distracted by these trendy things that are like, you got 1,000 views, you got 10,000 views, you got however many, but like for what?
Yeah.
So it's just coming back to the pillar content. It's coming back to they ask you answer stuff with really his thing is like, answer the objections. What are the top 7 questions somebody has in the sales process? Can we answer those? So literally, even if it was that intern, you could, or it was the business owner on 3 hours every Saturday morning, because sometimes that's what it is when we're early, right? Like, I'm going to make these videos. I'm going to answer the questions that they have, even if it's selfie video. And I'm going to create something somewhat entertaining for it. It's empathy to the customer. It's saying, I know you may have this question. And of course you have this question. How much is it going to cost? And maybe I can't answer in detail, but I can say, these are the things that affect the range of costs. And then I always love any questions about why are you more expensive? I love those questions because I think it really it digs up what we want to talk about, right? Because if you're more expensive, I think some people realize they're trying to put out, no one wants to put this content out. I think there's a lot of people that are scared to talk about price and talk about why are you more expensive?
Most definitely.
But they're going to ask it at some point. And if you're the one answering it, not the competitor on your website or in social media content, you get their attention much sooner because you're talking about things that no one else is talking about. And you're saying, hey, this is why we actually tend to be a little bit like we're 20% more expensive than the other guys, is because we have these checklists in place, because we have quality control in place, because we're actually on call for you, or whatever the key differentiating features are for you. But I think talking about price more often is a hack to grab people's attention. Mm-hmm. And I think also that why are you more expensive is a great topic. I think it's just videos, Eric. Dude, if I had to say anything, it's just doing vertical social media videos and answering actual questions in the sales process, and then doing it again. Top 7 questions, do them again. Honestly, we have it in a rhythm. One of our major frameworks is the they ask you answer thing. And like every single year we answer the top 7 questions and we put that video out on our website. Top 7 questions, put that video on our website. We break it down into the little ones too. And yes, I have a video guide, but I did this before I had a video guide. Mm-hmm. I think you can too. And it doesn't have to be perfect. I used to do ones just walking around in my neighborhood and then kind of have the visual, like moving background, and then a person talking, and put them out. put up bad videos until you put up good videos.
Yeah, and those little lapel mics are so cheap these days that plug in right into your iPhone. That's what I've been doing lately. Like I bought one off of Amazon for like $15, and I just use that. That's good enough, and it gets just as much engagement as when we use a fancy pants camera.
Yes, absolutely. No, I use iPhone so much. Guys, I have to pause this for a second. I apologize.
Okay, pause it.
We have a yeah.
So what kind of mics can they use to get started?
Well, I use the DJI Lab mics. Eric, do you use something else?
I don't know the brand of it, but I got it off of Amazon. Like I literally went on Amazon and I typed in, like lapel mic that plugs into iPhone, and I found one. It was actually there's two of them, and it uses the same receiver, and that was like $15. But it's not obviously as nice as DJI, but
but there's this super cheap options out there.
Yeah,
I think I just always like. I'm confused sometimes why contractors don't actually do this stuff when it's so easy to do. I think it's partly because they think it has to be polished to reflect well on their company.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if you kind of just think back to times when you've been in the home with a homeowner, is it because you're polished that they trust you? Or is it because you care and you're answering their questions? And I'm not saying that polish isn't great once you can figure it out. That's great. But it is weird too with videos. Sometimes a little bit more off the cuff selfie style video will do better than a perfectly polished one. I've seen some very polished videos with 17 views.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And so I think to encourage you, just remember what works in the home, which is to care, to answer questions directly, and maybe to call them to action, whatever the next action is that you want them to take. Doesn't have to be perfectly polished. So I just wish I could help. I wish I could help you start, even if I just challenged you and said, "Hey, you're not going to do this. You're not going to do this, are you?" I don't know what's going to make me take action.
Yeah, what we've started doing with our clients is we'll put a calendar invite on it and invite them to it and just be like, it's due today. We've been doing that lately because we have some like they'll get the ring light and the little microphone. They're like, I'm gonna make content. I'll finally just be like, all right, June 19th at 12 p.m. Eastern, and I'll put it on the calendar and invite them and be like, it is due. And guess what? They'll do it every single time.
That's amazing. That's funny. I tried one. I said I was trying to get one of my clients to do a reel a day and 2 lives every week. And so it's like in 3 weeks where it's like, did you do it? But I like yours better where it's just like hey, get these videos done by this date. I feel like that's clean.
Yeah. And they love competition. So send them up with other clients and be like, hey, let's leaderboard this out.
That's a great. Have you done that? Sounds amazing.
Well, I mean, I've seen. We do competitions at Service Titan, and they always work. And people are always like chasing their Titan Advisor score, and they are highly competitive, right? And so, contests are the way to go.
Yeah, like any way that you can like gamify something is and anyone can do that internally at whatever company they're at. Obviously there's like technician scorecards or scoreboards or leaderboards or whatever you might have, but like you can do, I know that like the smart contractors that I know, they're doing it with like reviews. They're incentivizing off of reviews. They're incentivizing off of video reviews that they get. So like that's the way to go. Turn it into a friendly competition always.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Give them. Tim, as we start to land this plane, is there anything that we haven't chatted about yet that you were hoping?
Yeah, how easy is roofing? Like, that's what I really want to know, because nobody's in the roofing marketing. And like, I talked to my friend Matt, and he's at a big company, and he's like, "This is cake."
Yeah,
like
really.
Like, this is cake. And I was like,
"Wait, it's easy."
Yeah. Like it's
Yeah. Well, I guess I'd be curious to hear more about that. Well, everything's easy when you have one client.
Yeah.
That's true.
I think what it comes down to is like, how can we create scalable results, for like many, like, it's like kind of like people will be like, I want to freelance. You're like, yeah, go, like encourage them, right? You got like 2 or 3 clients. It's like, that's actually really easy. It's trying to figure out how to scale up positive results for like many, right? Like no matter what at scale, everything is kind of hard,
Mm-hmm.
I think like in comparison, I guess, with HVAC from what we've seen so far, I don't really see it as that much. I don't see it as easier per se, but I think they're both cool niches because I think like I like stuff that's like honestly, I think I got this from a guy from Scorpion on a podcast. He said, "Oh shit, niches."
Yeah.
They're like, oh shit, and they include like personal injury and stuff in that, but because of the need is now and it's painful and we need to get this resolved, and I do think like roof leaking is one of those, and AC being off and hot climate is one of those, and I think plumbing not working and it backing up is one of those. So like I like those. I feel like these niches are great. And we need leads, you know what I mean? These niches need, like, I think like back in the day, we did like remodeling, and it's like, God, you like get them 10 good customers and they're like done with lead generation for a year. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like these smaller companies don't have like this need.
Mm-hmm.
I like a need, like that's, and I like marketing where it's not just for fun. You know what I mean? It's like out of necessity, we need to market. You know what I mean? And that's why we qualify all customers. We're not trying to get every customer. I want you to want leads. Like I've had people call in or talk to us, and like I'm talking to them, and they're like, "Yeah, we don't really need leads." I'm like, "What are you marketing for?" Like, I get that you just like want good PR and you want it to all look bright and shiny, but I love marketing where there's a need for leads. Yeah. And so like, I qualify out prospects that don't really need leads. That's fine. Like there's great that I love a business like, I mean, that's a beautiful business, but it's not a good customer for an agency per se. I don't think. Yeah. Like the way that we do lead generation, there's other agents out there that do beautiful, kind of like comfy, soft marketing where it's like, honestly, brand and positioning is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's not like what we do, which is just, SEO, PPC websites, custom, niched, and very transparent.
Yeah. I used to work for agriculture in my very beginning. And so I made lettuce bags, and I was like, is this necessary? And there's an agency for every lettuce bag.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
It's crazy.
This is
that's what my first job out of college was at Humana. I was a web developer at Humana, the big life insurance company, not like health insurance, like healthcare and Medicare, whatever. Boring. Worst job ever. Not the people were awesome and like the brand was cool and we had a lot of fun with it, but it's like, man, you talk about just like boring work. It's like it would take 6 weeks to get a landing page approved because it had to go through like HIPAA and all this other crap. That's why I love home services, because like you were saying, Tim, like when we initially talked to a contractor, we're like, how many leads do you need a month? And the ones that are like, I need 63 drain cleaning calls, I need 43 of this, and I'm just like, perfect, because that gives us, like we were talking about earlier, internal competition. We're like, all right, they need 103 calls this month. Are we going to make it happen or not? And like that's the fun of it for me versus sitting around pushing pencils all day waiting for HIPAA to approve a landing page.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't corporate stuff like those kind of always kind of like is difficult, very difficult. Yeah. I like the momentum of like getting something done and going to the next thing and creating. Yeah, check out hookagency.com and connect with me on Facebook at Tim Hook. I think I'm the only one that should come up if you search that. And just, I put out a lot of content, so it's not just going to be like pitches. It's us doing content with people out in the field and great other great marketers.
Awesome. And what conference?
Hookagency.com. Yes. That's the only time I'll ever do that, Tim.
All right, what were you saying, Tim?
What's the next conference you're going to?
I know I want to go to Pantheon. You guys let me come to that. And then I think Home Service Freedom, probably. I'm trying to think about what else. Like, those are the two that I really want to go to later this fall. And I don't know. We'll see what else we might throw in there.
Okay. Awesome. Well, welcome to the industry. We're glad you're here.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Tim, thanks for joining us today. And we will chat with you soon, my man.
Thanks.
And that wraps up another episode of The Trademark, where we bridge the worlds of the trades and marketing, one story at a time. We can't wait to see you next time. Thank you to the trades for giving back big, loving big, and taking massive action. Don't forget to join us next time for more engaging conversations and innovative ideas. If you enjoyed today's episode, please leave us a review and share it with your colleagues and friends in the trades and marketing. Your support means the world to us. Stay connected with us off the air by following us on social media. We'd love to hear your thoughts and get your feedback. Until next time, keep making your mark in the trades. Thank you for listening to The Trademark. Goodbye for now, and remember, we're with the trades for the trades.